I went to the dermatologist and I got something frozen and I am in pain and slightly nauseous now. So one of you lovely people asked if I was okay this morning, Scott. I'm not. My body is giving out on me today. This is something that it does sometimes. So I've just been reading Sunrise on the Reaping again on the couch all day long. Sorry, I'm going through that sort of poison dialysis thing that I go through right now. I also just want to jump on here to say that just because someone doesn't look sick, that makes their chronic illness, disease, disorder, disability invalid and fake. As a person with invisible disabilities, and that's what I'm called under the eyes of the law, I'm legally considered a disabled person just because my illnesses prevent me from going to work and to school and leaving my household most days. I recognize that I have certain privileges that visibly disabled people don't have. I have the privilege of choosing what I share and with whom. I have the privilege of not necessarily being judged, but it's also very difficult because I so frequently hear that because I don't appear to represent the traditional mold of a disabled person, that somehow I'm faking it or I don't deserve accommodations. My mom and I did some baking, as you can tell. We made some white chocolate raisin cookies because my dad is allergic to any other kind of chocolate and nuts, but we're also making snickerdoodles. And my mom made her famous lemon squares. And then we visited a family member who is dying. Not my grandpa, he's still in Texas. Why does my hair look like this? He's still in Texas, but I have a family member who is reaching the end of his life. He's lived a good long life, but we're visiting him and just trying to be there for him. We have a new angle today, and I thought while my mom is going to the grocery store to get more ingredients to bake snickerdoodles, that I might talk about having people doubt you when you have health conditions. It's definitely very discouraging at times to feel as though people don't place their faith in you and that they don't believe you have the capacity to do what others can do. I've also dealt with a lot of disbelief from adults that I'm able to function and do the activities that I do with the illnesses that I have. I remember the first psychiatrist I met, although I was grateful to meet him, I had to take the Yale Brown Obsessive Compulsive test to prescribe medication. He told my mom that there was no way I could be doing as well in school as I was with the severity of my OCD. And that's really heartbreaking. I feel like a lot of non-disabled people either choose to just see our illnesses and not us, or just choose to pretend like our illnesses aren't there. My illness is a part of me. It's not all of me, but it is a part of me. It takes people like me, especially with all of the white privilege that I have, to advocate for people who don't have as many privileges as I have, and to advocate on behalf of the disabled community and speak out for our rights. I'd love to see more representation in the future, and beyond that, just accurate representation. Because on screen and on stage, you see a lot of these sad stories about people with disabilities, but you don't really see them as a person. Because whether it's positive or not, mainstream media, social media is the way most people get their information these days. And for instance, Marissa Bodie's casting in Wicked was a big turning point, as she was the first disabled wheelchair user to portray Nessa Rose Throp. But as she said, disabled people shouldn't just play roles for disabled characters, but they should also have the right to just play regular characters as well, similarly to transgender actors. And I think we have a long way to go regarding representation. And on a tapering treatment, in this case I'm tapering up, so I go up on my dose of medication every 4 weeks. The side effects have been hell. They're really bad. I'm not sleeping, but I'm super tired during the day. I'm lethargic. I feel like I'm gonna pass out. One of the medications that I started, we only had to work on for 2 weeks and we didn't taper, and that one hasn't worked, so I think I'm gonna go off of that, the Elocitron. But the amitriptyline, I have to give another month at full dosage before we can stop it. I'm hoping I see some positive improvement. I feel like a princess. Should I wear a necklace? Okay, we're doing this necklace. Yes, I'm in my pajamas with my makeup on, but it's just because I haven't had a chance to remove it yet. So every Christmas, my grandmother, before she got Alzheimer's, would buy us all Christmas pajamas, and that would be our gift to each other. And we'd open them on Christmas Eve. Obviously, you know, she's not alive anymore, but my parents decided to keep the tradition alive, so these are mine. We got them in pink for me because everything for me is better in pink. My parents are going out of town to attend a funeral, a family friend's funeral. Not the family members, although he did die yesterday. I'm starting a new treatment regimen today. Hypnotherapy, which means I can no longer talk about my stomach pain, which is kind of disheartening, sorry, it's really early, and also strange. Well, not that early, but you know what I mean. It's strange because my whole life I've always been pestered by my parents to talk about my pain and my symptoms, and now I'm not allowed to talk about them, and I don't know what to do with that information. The most important thing for me right now is when she's back in town, being there for my mom, because the loss of her godfather has affected her quite profoundly. Went to the movies with my friend yesterday. We saw Zootopia 2, which was actually pretty fun considering that I had never seen the first one. I'm wearing this really cute fluffy sweater I got for Christmas and these really sweet slippers because my old slippers were from the hospital gift shop. They sell surprisingly good slippers, but they had a bunch of holes in them because I had had them for about 5 years. So, little health update. So I'm gonna do 2 hypnotherapy sessions a day. It's virtual for the next 3 months, but I had a good Christmas. I had a really good Christmas overall. I had a lot of fun. I got to spend it with my parents, who are the 2 most important people in the world to me. I got to see my best friend. I got to be with my cats. And that is what matters most to me. And I feel so lucky for that. Rain or shine, the show must go on. Tell someone you love them today. Maybe have that person be yourself. Sing like there's no one watching. Take down a transphobe. Always remember to be mellow. And I will see you in the new year.